Radical.
Two, part three of Radical Rapid Fire Combo Response for March 7th through March 13, 2022. Short comments, quick replies. Rockboy 245. Oh yeah, I remember playing one of those in the NES, the arcade game, back when I was a kid. I never beat it because of how difficult it was. Yeah, I played the arcade game and I don't think I beat it. I mean, maybe you could, but the thing about a lot of those NES games is they were cheap. Cheap. Very cheap. To where you pretty much had to do things exactly a certain way. And that's just across the board. A lot of those games were incredibly difficult, and the Turtle games were no exception to that. The idea that mostly kids would be playing these games, I don't understand what they were really thinking. Nowadays, even some of the harder type games, are not terribly hard compared to NES hard. NES hard was a whole different meaning of hard. Get yourself a NES emulator and you'll see what I'm talking about. Chicago Infinity. Cold as ice, Foreigner. No Waterfalls by TLC, laugh out loud. Yeah, I used Waterfalls a couple different times, I think. But you gotta think about in that upload, well, there was ice involved. I was driving through ice, right? So I thought Cold as Ice works there. Also, I used Cold as Ice for a Russell Westbrook upload, which is kind of funny. Art Bell, 2022. The RTU Streams channel has some nice Amico video run-throughs, but he keeps tapping an iPad with the sounds of a screaming crowd applause every few minutes. Something's wrong with him. Yes, something. Probably more than one thing. There's a lot of things probably wrong with Review Tech USA. And this obsession he has with chickens. You stopped by and said that he's going to wear a chicken suit or something. Let's just say that there's a lot of things wrong with Review Tech USA, and it's Radical Rapid Fire. I really can't go into all of them. DJ Crispy Fingers. What's worse is the fact that he made the video private, then not even a week later, made a video on how he spent so much money on Game Boy consoles. Yeah, I think it's the second time he's done something like that, where, he has these Ibbekin type videos. He talks about, I need, some money to help me with the house and whatnot. But then right after that, inconveniently has these uploads where he shows a lot of the stuff he has, a lot of the expensive games. So that's just across the board. Across the board, if you see one of these eBay type uploads, all you got to do is point out the fact that they have a lot of different expensive games in their other uploads. Maybe they could, I don't know, eBay some of the games and sell some of the games, right? It's not like there's not a market for these rare retro games, Penguin Wizard. Giving money to a channel that is all about console war sounds more sad than the usual suspects. Yeah, I agree. Some of the saddest stuff there. I'm sure there's probably a lot of stuff in the car communities too, where people are like, hey, I'm for Ford. You got a Chevy? Well, fuck you, you got a Chevy. I'm sure it exists across the board. You see it with political channels like, hey, I support this party, so give me money. We got to get them other people on the other side to support that other party. Oh, you like Pepsi? Fuck you, I like Coke. You can probably think of a lot of different scenarios, but when it comes to the gaming communities, sure, there's actually some channels out there, as sad as it sounds, they'll actually build up. It's like, we're an Xbox channel, give us money so we can, I don't know, they'll come up with some reason. These channels will always come up with some reason, as stupid as it sounds, to donate money to them. Blake Romo. Wow, some people don't have better things to do than make videos by other YouTubers' videos. Leave the man be, just a bike. This was a talk about the retro future. This is one of two. I don't really do a lot of rad responses anymore, so I just kind of work these in here. I said to Blake Robo, wow, some people don't have better things to do than upload sympathy videos to YouTube and beg for donations while actually being wealthy themselves. Elliot should leave his subscribers' pockets and emotions alone. It's just a bike. Mr. Lone Wolf. Apparently the Metal Crew went on another game hunt with their Patreon money, but said some of the items were out of their price range. I know it's not worth being mentioned, but I just found that funny. Well, it's just kind of funny. That's a little bit too much for me. Oh, my pockets. Oh, my goodness, When the fact of the matter is, they have Patrons, so it's not like they're spending their money on the games. They're literally spending other people's money on the games. So as stingy as you can be, he could just be honest, that's going to be spending too much of my Patreon funds for that. The Winged Avenger. I was all excited for it. Joel Embiid and Harden, but now I have doubts. Well, Winged Avenger, maybe you shouldn't have doubts. Maybe we shouldn't have doubts because they just annihilated the Clippers. So maybe they're on the upswing. Possibly. They beat them by about 25 points. So we'll see. We'll see. It's an interesting pairing. Definitely, definitely. Oh, and here's another one of these little mini rad responses. SFS 2040. Seriously? He posted a video updating his viewers that's suddenly clickbait. Grow up and find something productive to do on YouTube instead of trying to generate false drama. This is one of the many triggered people when I spoke the truth on 8-Bit Guy a while back. I said, Texas in crisis for a title is clickbait, along with the idea he himself was in any kind of crisis. I think he could have found something more productive to do than upload a sympathy donation garnering video. It was proven he gladly received new patrons specifically because of his personal crisis upload, unrelated to gaming, on his gaming channel. Might as well cash in on his foolish subscribers to get donations, eh? Red Stress 97. You can price a Mirage for $30K or more, but it has to be really decked out. Like Too Fast, Too Furious style. That Mirage in the movie kicked butt, the movie not so much. Well, I looked up modified Mirages, and there was some modified Mirages, but I think you're referring to the Lancer Evo. That amazing Lancer Evo in that movie. The other car driven by Tyrese the Eclipse, I just really wasn't feeling that one. But that movie and that movie series, that really kicked off. Some people say, hey, AVGN kicked off like a lot of the YouTube gaming stuff. A lot of people will say, the NES back in the day, the Genesis, Super NES, they kicked off gaming, made gaming really big. But when it came to car modification, that culture, one of the most influential movies of all time that will not get the credit for being one of the most influential movies of all time would be Fast and Furious. And not like these days Fast and Furious where it's like they're all superheroes and it's all about explosions and double crosses and things like that nature. No, the original, you say my trilogy maybe, Tokyo Drift, Too Fast, Too Furious, the original Fast and the Furious movies were great enthusiast movies.